Hello everyone, my name is Yashwant. I'm an assistant professor here at SSIT Tumkuru in the Department of Robotics and Artificial Intelligence. Today I'm going to introduce you to robotics. My background is I'm an alumni of University of Ottawa, Canada, where I obtained my graduation in Master of Engineering, Electrical and Computer Engineering. We'll start by understanding what is robotics, followed by where we can employ the robots, the common type of robot which is called as manipulator, evolution of robots, such as the history. When we look back, what's the history looks like with robots, and three laws of robotics. Laws of robotics helps the generation understand the ethics behind robotics. Okay, the basic components of a robot. What constructs a robot? What we can think of a robot constructed by? All the basic components which adds up to form a robot. Okay, a robot we can think of as a machine which looks and acts like a human being. Okay, it was first introduced as a concept in a science fiction story and in movies in the early 1900s. Robots can be defined as a machine which can replace human with regards to physical work and decision making. Robotics study. Robotics is nothing but the study of robots. Robotics Industries Association describes or defines robots as a branch of technology which deals with design, construction, operation and application of robots, and not just the robots but the computer system as well. Computer systems that helps process the data. Robotics Industries Association, located in North America, defines robotics as a technology which deals with the design, construction, operation and applications of robots. Not just robots, but the control system or the computer system that can process the data, senses the feedbacks and control the robots. One of the main type of a robot that is being employed commonly is called as robotic manipulator, and it is being widely used in hostile environments, in military, space and healthcare. It is really hard to put up all the extensive list of robot applications because we have varieties of use cases when it comes to robots. Some of the examples are handling the radioactive material in a hostile environment. In space industries, robots are being used to construct or repair satellites and space stations. In healthcare, aiding patients, nursing, we have robots, nurse robots. We have robots that aid patients. In military, we have seen drones are being used, which is also called as unnamed aerial vehicles or unmanned aerial vehicles. Unanimous retake, anonymous aerial vehicles. Robotic manipulator is mostly used or commonly used type of robot. You see a picture of a robotic manipulator. It can be defined as open or closed chain of rigid links attached by joints. Links can be compared to human waist, forearm and upper arm, and the joints can be compared to the elbow joints and the shoulder joints of a human being. That's why we can also call it as robotic arm or simply a manipulator. Now let's look at a brief history of robotics and how the robots are being employed, how the robots evolved from the day one. That helps foundation of ethics discussion in the field of robotics. Still, during these years, robots were mainly science fictional, mainly appeared in movies or stories. During 1950s to 1960s, especially in the year of 1956, two persons named George Devil and Joseph created a Unimate. These years were important years because the very first robots were created during these years. The Unimate started working uh, in General Motors assembly line to stack hot metals, handling hot metals. So we can see why robots were replacing humans when it comes to working in an hostile environment. After that, in 1960s, 66 to 72, exactly, Stanford scientists built a robot called Shaky. Shaky was a first mobile robot with some artificial intelligence features. During 1970s to 1980s, we could see the rise of industrial robots, adaptation of the robots in industries such as manufacturing industries mostly, automobile manufacturing, and some companies that are named here, KUKA, ABB, developed programmable robot manipulators, and lead developments in humanoid robots were introduced during these years. Robotics spreads between 1970s to 1980s. Robotics spreads from just industrial adaptation to adaptation in medicine exploration and research usage. Okay, these were very important years. 1999, uh, 1996, where IBM developed a Deep Blue, uh, a robot at that time finished or defeats a chess champion. After that, we can see Honda developed Asimo, very first humanoid robot which could interact with a human. Surgical robot called Da Vinci surgical system that assists doctors in regards to surgeries in a medical industry, and vacuum cleaner. It was widely being used nowadays. Were introduced back in these days, 1990s to 2000. 2010s, we could see the adaptation of artificial intelligence. We could see the development of mobile robots as well as human interaction. How the Boston Dynamics created mobile robots. We could see Sophia. There were artificial intelligence, computer vision, natural language processing were integrated to robots for proper vision, for proper sensing and feedbacks. Self-driving cars were introduced in these years too. From 2020s onwards, we can see that artificial intelligence is taking over. That doesn't mean it's just been used in your cell phones or laptops. It's been adopted to assisting humans. Cobots were being developed. Cobots are collaborative robots which is there to help or assist human beings. Robots are being used in healthcare industries, logistic industries, space, military to rescue in rescue missions. And we all know chat GPTs and other artificial intelligence tools. And these tools are being integrated to robots to make robots artificially intelligent. Okay, this is a very important step, and this is one of the very important slides because so far robotics and robots was a fictional retake. So far, robots were fictional characters or concepts because Isaac Asimov introduced three laws of robotics, thinking in the future the robots may rule the world. he lists out three laws plus zeroth law. What you see on the screen right here, it is it is in order. It is in order. 0 takes the highest priority compared to 1, 2, and 3. First, let's take a look at first three. 1, 2, 3. Law number 1 says a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow human being to come to harm. What does it mean? A robot must protect the human being. A robot must protect the human being even though a human being wants to get hurt. So that's what the meaning of very first law. It takes the precedence. We'll take a look at the zeroth law afterwards because it was not introduced yet. That's why it was introduced after the three laws. It's called as zeroth law. First law means protect human being at all costs. Second law, robots must obey the orders given by human being as long as those orders comes in conflict with the very first law. Third law, robot must protect its own existence as long as it wouldn't conflict with the first and the second law. We will first explain the second law. Robot obeys human orders, okay? But what if the human orders were to attack or injure another human being? That breaks the very first law. So the second law should not conflict with the very first law. Same, robot has to keep its own existence, but it should not conflict with the other two laws. Finally, after a few years, Asimov came with the zeroth law. It states robot must protect the humanity as a general, not just a single human being. A robot needs to protect a humanity and it should not affect. Zeroth law states that a robot must protect the humanity by inaction or by inaction allow humanity to come to harm. So this completes robots' 4 laws of robotics. So lastly, to complete this session, we are going to discuss the basic components of a robot. Components are nothing but all the factors, all the parts that makes up a robot. Here you see a basic robotic manipulator. It includes these components: controllers, sensors, actuators, power supply, mechanical parts, and software. First, controllers. Controllers are the brain of a robot. Controllers has to process the data and puts out the desired output. Sensors are like sensory organs in a human being. It helps robots to see, sense, or to observe its environment. Actuators are like muscles of a robot, which helps robots movement, which helps robots to perform actions. Mechanical parts are the structures such as rigid links, joints, all the mechanical components that builds a robot. Power supply, of course, to run a robot, for a robot to function, it requires power. So a power supply is one of the components of a robot. And lastly, software or a program. If it's an automated robot, pre-written software is required. If it is artificially intelligent robots, some artificial intelligent algorithms are required. So far, we have discussed the definitions of robot and robotics. We saw how robots were evolved. What is the common type of robots that's being employed? And we saw what are all the laws that was provided by the scientists. Ultimately, to conclude with the components of a robot. Thank you so much for this session.